Welcome to the Just Music Podcast. I'm your host, Jalen. Marco is not on this particular episode, but I'm very excited to introduce this guest that we have. She's really, really cool. She's super talented, as she is a singer, songwriter, guitarist. She is the host of her own dive bar event called Dear Dive Bar at Elliott Borough Mini Bar here in Charleston, South Carolina. And she recently released her debut EP, Welcome to a Friday Night. Miss Meredith Foster, how you doing?
Hey, Jalen, good. Good to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be here, and we're happy to have you on. Um, so everybody who's listening, so they know. So like you and I, we connected through good friend of ours, Maggie Hosey. Shout
Maggie's the
out to Maggie.
best.
She is
Yeah, shout
amazing.
out.
Yeah, she is amazing, and she's doing some really great things over with Disco TP and everything that she does, just being an advocate and supporter of the music scene, especially for independent artists and female artists. Um,
hmm
and she told me about you because I was like, yeah, like I'm just trying to, continue to make connections in the music scene here in Charleston. Because I mean, I believe as an artist, and really just anybody who is looking to create success in their life, you're gonna have to network and
Yeah.
build relationships and talk to people. And when Maggie told me about you, and I reached out, and we eventually connected, and then I came to your Dear Dive Bar event, which we're definitely going to talk about. And now here we are. Um,
Yeah, here we are.
so to give a little bit of background on you, share with the listeners where you're from, what got you into pursuing this passion, this career, this lifestyle of music.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm originally from Wildwood, Missouri, which is right outside of St. Louis. And I was blessed to grow up in a pretty musical family. My dad was a blues guitar player, so some of my earliest memories were going to his shows. I went to my first concert when I was 4. It was the Dixie Chicks, which are now the Chicks. So yeah, I kind of like grew up around it. I sang for the first time in front of people when I was like 4 or 5 at a talent show. And that kind of like instilled the bug in me to do it. And it was super fun. I played like a Johnny Cash song or something.
Nice.
And then I started actually like playing and singing together at the same time and starting to play shows when I was about 13. Started playing at an open mic in St. Louis at a place called the Wolf Cafe. Open mic was hosted by this guy named Steve Perrin, who is still hosting it, and we're really good friends now. So that's awesome. Yeah, I played my first show there when I was 14. And then fast forward, I guess what, 10, 11 years now, pursuing that and been playing lots of shows here in Charleston with a full band and solo, writing music and started your dive bar. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you're crushing it. Like I see everything
I
that
don't know
you're
about
doing.
that, but thanks
Um,
for
no,
trying.
seriously. I mean, from releasing your own music to traveling and also hosting your own live music event. Like it's really, really cool to see everything that you're involved in when it comes to music. And
Thank you.
yeah, of course. And like I was looking at your Instagram page and like you have this aesthetic that's very consistent. It's very like eye-catching and it's very like engaging. And you talk about how, you're from Missouri, you grew up in a
hmm
musical family, and when I hear your music, because I listened to the EP this past weekend and I really liked it, which I definitely want to talk about. And when I hear your music, like I think of like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think of like country, I think of uh Americana, I think of folk
hmm
music, I think of even a little bit of pop and like just genuine music, like in like your songwriting skills and your passion for the music, it shows up in all your songs. So I guess like, coming from a musical family and being from Missouri, I guess like has that always been the style of music that you've gravitated towards, or like are there other influences as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would definitely say, I mean, from the time I was a little kid, I've always loved classic country. I mean, and classic to me, somebody corrected me the other day. They're like, classic isn't 90s country, Meredith, but I was born in 98, so it is classic to me. But yeah, I would say like a lot of that classic country influence. Again, my dad's a blues guitar player, so I actually have a pretty heavy blues and soul influence as well. Some artists like, like Delbert McClinton and like that Texas blues scene was really influential in my sound for sure. Bonnie Raitt was one of my biggest idols growing up, and so she kind of marries like that blues and country and soul aesthetic and sound. So that was a big part of it. And then yeah, Americana, and folk. Those are actually, it's perfect that you said that.
Yeah.
That's definitely another big influence of mine. I was friends with a lot of songwriters in college that introduced me to John Prine, and he's been a really big influence in my music as well. And also I should probably know, because if I don't say it, she's going to be pissed off at me. But my mom is a huge Southern rock fan, and so I also have kind of that influence as well. Skynyrd is a big influence of mine. Just kind of like that classic Southern rock scene. Allman Brothers, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, because I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, this is definitely the sound that I hear. And
Yeah.
you know, because I've played, I have a friend of mine who has his own band. Shout out to Dan and the Donuts. They're like
I love that name.
yeah. I'm gonna send you his band. Like they're really, really cool. They're a cover
Please
band.
do.
They cover a lot of like old school. It's really more of the like old school 4/5, like 50s and 60s blues, but it's
Cool.
kind of in that same vein. And you mentioned Leonard Skinner, and I remember doing songs with him by Leonard Skinner and like the Allman Brothers. They're very popular down here in the
Yeah.
South. And it's a style of music that's very entertaining and like it's a good listen. It's not a style of music that I listen to all the time, but like if I'm out and about
Yeah.
or if like, you know, so I'm originally from Florence, South Carolina. So
Yeah.
there's some country, there's some country element to where I'm from. And then also I have family from Darlington, South Carolina. So that's the
Okay.
deeper
Yeah,
country.
I say I don't even know where that is. My
Yeah,
South Carolina
yeah.
geography is pretty rough,
If,
but
if you watch NASCAR a little bit growing up, the Darlington race,
okay.
that you could just think
Gotcha.
that's like the main thing about Darlington. But like I
Mhm.
remember growing up and like spending some time out in the country and like um you know riding on a tractor, a lawnmower, or going to see horses
I
or
love it.
whatever. And like
Mhm.
music like that is perfect for stuff like that because it's catchy, it's entertaining, and it provides a level of peace too. Like,
Mhm.
um, also a lot of times with like songs like folk, Americana, and country songs, the songwriting is very, very much a big highlight. Um,
Yeah.
Unlike maybe some pop songs where it's just more so about um, creating a song that's going to get people dancing or
Yeah.
something that's
Absolutely.
right. Whereas with a lot of country songs, especially love songs with country songs, like
Yeah.
yeah, like "Wanted" by Hunter Hayes. That's to this
Mhm.
of my favorite love songs. Like I want to perform that at a wedding one day. So
Yeah, he's
yeah.
awesome.
So because with your songwriting, I was listening to your EP and I was like, I really like the song. Let me find it. Sorry. Give me 1 second.
You're good.
Because there was a few songs on there that really stood out. Um, I was literally just looking at
Yeah,
it.
you're fine. No worries.
But here it is. I'm Not Blonde
Yeah.
and Make a Liar and